I thought it's going to be way worse. But again, I mean, it's the first year.
Good evening, and we begin at 5 with an update on our homeless crisis. Nearly 1 year after Portland's first Safe Rest Village opened in Multnomah Village. It's one of several tiny home communities built for homeless people. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko.
And I'm Laurel Porter. This week, a KGW viewer asked us to follow up on the Safe Rest Village. They wanted to know how it's going and if the tax dollars spent on the program were actually making a difference. Reporter Blair Best covered the village when it opened, so we sent her back this week to follow up.
On the edge of Multnomah Village, nestled between an elementary school and a residential neighborhood, sits a promise of opportunity for homeless people.
Our chief focus is really on participants and moving people to that place where they're not on the streets and they're thriving.
Andy Goebel runs All Good Northwest, the group tasked with managing the city's first Safe Rest Village. Since it opened last June, they've moved 49 people off the streets and into these tiny homes. 9 of them have since moved into permanent housing.
We realize there's so much more to do,
including fitting into the neighborhood, one where some people protested the site last year.
We're worried about things like needles being improperly disposed of. We're worried about an influx of crime.
We talked with this woman before the village opened. Her home was right next door. She has since sold it, in part due to the Safe Rest Village, neighbors tell us.
We bought the house in September of last year. We moved in October 1st.
Jade Brainerd is the new owner.
We were kind of second position buyers, and the original buyers backed out because once they knew about the Safe Rest Village.
The nearby neighborhood is somewhat split on the issue. Some of those who live in the houses on this side of the street say they're living on edge because they look out onto the village. Yet those who live on this side say they're hardly impacted by it at all. Yet it's clear that the Safe Rest Village is having a deeper effect on the area.
And there is a concern with that reducing the home values of the neighborhood.
As a result of the Safe Rest Village, Brainerd paid much less than the asking price for her home. And so did her neighbor Gil Weissman, who's also new to the neighborhood.
We wanted to pay less for the rent because the price didn't justify whatever was happening behind our backyard.
Neighbors we spoke with didn't complain about theft or drug use. Rather, they said noise has been the biggest issue with the site.
It's on and off. Sometimes it's very active, as I said, very noisy, slamming doors, some yelling and shouting. We make sure we don't leave anything open, no windows open. The west side of the house curtains are all, closed, and we make sure that, increased privacy awareness for us.
Fears that are no surprise to those running the village.
I understand that kind of concern from folks. Learning how to be good neighbors has been, it's been a challenge, but it's also been an opportunity, because what we find is as we show up as good neighbors, more and more people support the work that we do here.
There are currently 4 Safe Rest Villages open across the city, and 3 more are supposed to open soon, including one here off the Peninsula Crossing Trail in North Portland. It's still under construction, and like the one in Multnomah Village, has received a lot of backlash from the surrounding neighborhood. Blair Best, KGW News.
And Blair's follow-up there was prompted by a KGW viewer. If you have a story idea, you can submit it on our website, find us on Facebook, or here's an easy one, email us at newstips@kgw.com.
A traffic alert for you tonight. The drive is slow on I-5 North right now because of an earlier rollover crash. This is by the Terwilliger Curves just south of downtown. The crashed car has been moved, but backups are lingering. This is video from about 4:30 this afternoon when police had to briefly close all northbound lanes so crews could clear that car. The weather is getting warmer. I'm sure you've noticed, and summer really is approaching, but that also means wildfire season will also be here. And this year, Keep Oregon Green is partnering with actor and Oregon native Ty Burrell for a wildfire awareness campaign. The public service announcements will highlight wildfire risks and prevention tips. State officials say people cause more than 70% of wildfires in Oregon every year. Many are the result of escaped burn piles or sparks from gas-powered equipment.
Well, speaking of things heating up, it is a great chance to spend a little time out on the water. Photojournalist Eric Patterson was out there first thing this morning. Here he is paddling his kayak around Sauvie Island for sunrise. Also setting a great example, we should mention, with that life jacket. You know, Matt Zaffino, I got out on the Willamette around 11, went down to a shorty wetsuit for the first time of the season. Still dangerously cold water, always worth a reminder, I know you know, but paired with that record-setting warmth, where are we headed?
It is a good reminder because a lot of people are going to be tempted to get in the water tomorrow because it's going to feel hot tomorrow to a lot of people, and the river is inviting, as are the lakes, but they're super cold right now because it's spring, so be aware that cold water shock is a real thing and you can get hypothermia pretty quickly. Outside right now at the Reserve Golf Course, also a great place to be. Hit the links today. We did it. 81 degrees out of Washington County right now, and you know what? Portland did it too. We made it up to 80 for the first time this year. 80, 81 common in the metro area, as you can see. Even warmer weather on the south coast with that 86 down at Brookings. So today is the warmest day of the year so far. Yesterday was the warmest day of the year so far. And tomorrow will become the warmest day of the year so far as we get even warmer than today's 80. The average first 80-degree day is the 8th of May. So we beat it by what? About a week and a half, right? Which is great because our first 70-degree day, which was yesterday, came over 3 weeks late. So we're making up ground rapidly, aren't we? Okay, the average first 90, in case you're wondering, is June 4th. And you know what? It's not out of the question for this week that we make it up to 90. Friday, tomorrow, we'll be very, very close. We're looking at upper 80s. I think we'll top out about 88, but I mean, that's only 2 degrees, so we'll be super close. Even the coast will be in the 70s and low 80s. Strong east winds developing late tonight and tomorrow. Meanwhile, up in the Cascades, it's beautiful. All the snow up there from the season, still holding up, great spring skiing. But 55 degrees means things start moving as we start getting melting, even at the upper elevations. So the avalanche danger is going way up. And in fact, here's evidence of avalanches in White River Canyon. You can see the crown here and again here. Picture came in from Ben McKinley, who was skiing up on the Y-East face yesterday. So again, be very careful if you're going to head out into the backcountry. But boy, the great weather continues. More on tomorrow's record high that's on the way. A little bit later, guys, back to you.
Boy, close to 90 after the spring we've had is so hard to believe. Thank you, Matt. There is a big search underway right now in rural Clackamas County for a missing man from Colton. 78-year-old Don Parkins went looking for antlers in the woods outside Molalla and hasn't been seen since Saturday. Our Tim Gordon joins us now from Molalla. Tim, you were out in the search area today.
Yeah, Laurel, we were. This is out in the Molalla River Recreation Area southeast of here. And this is the 5th day that people have been out looking for this missing man. Here's a look again at Don Parkins. We're told the senior citizen was out in the woods looking for antlers shed by deer and elk to collect as keepsakes. We drove out about a dozen miles on Molalla Forest Road to get into the search area. In this rugged but beautiful recreation area, a family member alerted authorities early Sunday morning that Parkins did not return from his trip here, and searchers have been out ever since looking for him. Now, this area was burned by the Beachy Creek fire in 2020, potentially giving searchers in the air or using drones a better look into the forest, but so far, nothing. Still, a lot of volunteers with various search and rescue groups have not given up doing what they do.
Help others, and help find this missing gentleman who's been gone for a while, and, hopefully find him alive, but if not, we need to bring some closure to the family.
And a big thanks to all of these search and rescue groups that are out there looking, coordinated by the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office. And you can help too. If you have any information or you possibly think you've seen this elderly man out there, be sure to call that in. We have information on how to do that at KGW.com. David?
Yeah, Tim Gordon in Molalla this evening. Thank you, Tim. Washington's governor signed new laws today to protect abortion rights and to make the state a safe haven for people from other parts of the country who seek care. This comes at a time when other states have rolled back abortion rights. Governor Inslee signing a total of 5 health care related bills in Seattle. So the My Health, My Data Act prevents a patient's data gathered on the app from being shared. New laws also shield abortion and gender affirming care patients and providers from out of state from prosecution. Another law means healthcare providers can no longer charge copays or fees for abortions. And finally, the state is now able to dispense the abortion pill mifepristone to doctors and health clinics.
Happy to sign this bill. This is also known as Keep Texas's Tentacles Out of the State of Washington bill. So let's smile for a second here.
All right, I guess we'll see if that gets a response out of Austin. Now, earlier this month, the governor also directed the Department of Corrections, which has a pharmacy license, to stockpile mifepristone in case the drug loses FDA approval.
Now to a report on 911 response times. You'll see tonight on the story at 6 o'clock. Counties set the standards, and in Multnomah County, crews are often failing to get to emergencies on time. But the county and ambulance provider AMR disagree on how to fix the problem. Evan Watson joins us in the newsroom with a preview of his latest investigation. Evan?
Hi, Laurel. Multnomah County has a 2 paramedic requirement for its EMS crews. All right, it's a unique setup requiring first responders to have more training and often more experience. Ambulance provider AMR says it could fix slow response times if the county lowered those requirements. Staffing shortages are an issue. The county says it won't do that, and 2 paramedics make better health care. So paramedics are left in a tough spot, knowing that they're not getting to emergencies as quickly as they should.
I do think changing the requirement would provide a short and fast increase to the number of ambulances on the road. Numbers, if you divide by 2, you get half as many ambulances. If you split us up, you would get more ambulances on the road. However, all that would do is increase my workload as a paramedic, because I would have to write more charts. I'd have to do more of the patient care, and that's going to push us towards burnout more. And I think in the long run, all that would do is drive more paramedics out.
Coming up at 6 on The Story, I dive into this tension around 911 response. What are the plans to improve, and what do these paramedics have to say about it? More then. Laura?
We'll see at 6 o'clock. Thank you, Evan. Today, California approved a first-in-the-nation rule to cut down on pollution from trains. The goal is to ban the use of locomotives more than 23 years old by the year 2030. The state also wants to increase use of zero-emission technology for freight trains. However, some experts say it's too soon for a rule like this and will raise costs for rail companies. It still needs approval from the Biden administration.